Welcome to the Galactic Mind Weather Report. So I'm coming to you today in the center of what's known as the White Mirror Wave Spell. So this is 13 days dedicated to looking into the mirror of our reality that surrounds us. That means looking at how are we responding or reacting to what's turning up in our environment, in our lives, in our families, in our workplaces, etc. And because it's very easy to project outwardly as a victim, to go out and point out everything that's wrong. It's go ask anybody what's wrong with your business, what's wrong with this, what's wrong with that, what's wrong with your relationship. And I'm sure you can find 1,000,001 opinions as to what's wrong with your relationships, what's wrong with the way you're doing something. It's very easy to look out at somebody else and say, oh, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, that's not how it should be. But what's really challenging for most of humanity is to stop for a moment and really see what's going right. What's working for you? What is working in your relationship? What is working in your work life, in your family life? And to really bring that awareness to what is working. And instead of looking at what isn't working and trying to brute force that out, you see it in the government right now around the planet with this whole thing around everyone getting so caught up in political correctness to this extent that it's deafening, it's silencing the voice of everybody under this one big cry of the victim. And this movement that's happening at the moment, it's a purging in a way, but it's not constructive. It doesn't matter how many laws and regulations you make to say you can't say this, you can't do that. It's not going to change the intention. It's not going to change the energy that was behind that in the first place. If anything, it suppresses it until it purges and comes out in really ugly ways. We need freedom, not more constriction. And so this white mirror wave spell is really encouraging us to take check of ourselves, of how we are reacting, responding to the world around us. And are we coming from this inspired heart space where we're seeing what's working and actually giving our energy to that, encouraging what is working, be more vocal out there in the world, especially in social media, about where you can see change positively changing things. Where you can see innovation that's happening, where you can see people that are doing the right thing. And that's really what today, the center of this white mirror wave spell represents. It's the yellow resonant seed archetype. Yellow resonant seed. It's what codes the center of this white mirror process. And it's a really powerful thing to contemplate, because that's essentially what it's saying is the yellow resonant seed is about resonate with the frequency of the seed you are trying to plant. Resonate. Bring your frequency in alignment to the potential you are trying to give birth to in this world. Become the seed. Be the seed. And use your awareness and target that awareness on the beauty and the potential that you can help contribute towards bringing into this planet. So as we go through this 13 days of deep reflection, we're being called to create order in our lives, to take a little bit of that masculine and bring in and create a bit of frameworks in our worlds. Not to stifle creativity, but rather to allow it to blossom freely, so it doesn't get lost and spread out in this stagnant, which is kind of out there right now. And that's okay, because that's part of the evolutionary process of being human. We're swinging on a pendulum from one side to the other. But in the end, the biggest thing that I'm being called to during this white mirror wave spell is to bring my awareness from, instead of targeting outwardly at what can I change out there to make this world a better place, to what can I change in here? What can I change in my immediate environment? How can I change how I turn up to my family? How can I change how I turn up to my work, to the way I bring myself to the world? And how can I make the changes so that it's a sustainable movement that is inspiring and makes me want to wake up in the morning, that makes me want to put down the digital distractions, put down all these other distractions, and allow myself to be immersed fully in my daily experience. What does that need to happen? What does that take? And then I'm taking actions to clean that up, to let go of overcommitments that I've made, to really realize what was behind all of these, we have to save the world efforts. What was really behind that? And for me personally, I found there was a part of me looking to be recognized for all my efforts out there, so that I would get some kind of invite that would help rescue me from the problems I was having in here. And so this red serpent and white mirror has been very powerful for me personally. And it's liberating. When we allow that, it's not pretty sometimes looking into that reflection of the outside world and owning our part that we are responsible for. It's hard. And the real challenge is not to beat yourself up, but to look in that reflection, see where we may have been playing the victim card, and instead of dwelling in that and beating ourselves up for the shadow side of things, to say, okay, well, I can see that now. Now let me use the rest of my 90% of my awareness to see what was working. Even if it's just a tiny little fragment of light in my daily life that has been glowing amongst all this chaos. What does that fragment look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? Breathe on it, breathe on it like an ember in a fire, and just give it life. Because all it takes is a small ember to begin a raging fire when you're ready for it. So allow yourself to really drop in and find that ember. Or maybe it's more for you. And don't dwell on what's not working in your life. Acknowledge it, witness it, do something about it. And then channel the rest of your time, energy, and awareness on breathing fuel into the seed that you can find in your life, to what you want to grow. And be patient. Use this gift of restraint. Don't just give your energy out left, right, and center, hoping that it lands in the right way and that somehow, miraculously, it's all going to work out. But rather, commit, devote yourself to fanning that ember inside you, to fanning the potential that is around you in all the challenges, all the conflict, everything. There is a potential if you can find it. And give your love there. Give your time and your energy there. And I can tell you that through all this chaos, there is some beauty waiting for us. But we all have to do our own work. We all have to clean our own mirrors. So enjoy the rest of the White Mirror Wave spell. And I'll see you at the beginning of the next one. So much love.